Okay, good morning. Good Thursday morning to everybody. My name is Tara Healey. I'm the founder and director of the mindfulness program of Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. And I am delighted to be here with you this morning. If you've just joined and you'd like to chat, please go ahead and open the chat and select everyone from the drop-down menu. And for anybody that is new to these practices, they're fully guided, usually about 12 to 14 minutes in length. And within that time span, there will be periods of complete silence. And I think that's about it. We save time at the end for Q&A. So if there is any, not only Q&A, but also sharing resources. So if you have come across a podcast, a book, an app, something that has been helpful and supportive to you, there's an opportunity to share that at the end, as well as, of course, anything you'd like to say about your practice or about this practice that we will do this morning. And I also want to save time to hear if anybody was able to join the webinar yesterday with Rhonda McGee. So we'll save time at the end to see about that too. And if you were not able to join, it is recorded and on our Mind the Moment YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and move into practice. So you can select a posture that feels like it's going to be helpful to you. If you are really sleepy, I think standing practice is a good idea, and you keep your eyes open but gaze downward a little bit, help with balance. And always, whatever posture you're in, your eyes can be open or closed, whatever feels best for you. So lying down is an option if you're not too tired, standing or seated. And go ahead and make some micro movements so that you're holding yourself in a way that is upright and engaged, not too tight, not too loose, with a spine that is straight but not stiff. And take a breath or two on your own, a deep inhalation through the nose, and then make your exhalation longer. And just allowing those deep breaths to help settle in and settle any surface tension. Noticing physically how you feel from your activities so far this morning. So what is the body offering? Pulsing, vibration, temperature, pressure, tingling, and bringing a receptive attitude to whatever is happening, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. We also tend to have a lot of neither pleasant or unpleasant sensations in the body, more neutral. And all is welcome. Maybe not all of it is liked, but all of it is there. And especially with the unpleasant, when we start to bring in resistance, which is a natural response, it's helpful just to see that resistance has arisen and then allow the resistance too. So you keep kind of backing up, backing into and fully embracing. Again, not necessarily liking, but when we strongly resist, we're adding to the already uncomfortable, whatever that might be. And then, of course, body sensations that feel good and pleasant and easy, allowing that, feeling into that. And if there's one part of the body that feels unpleasant and another that feels pleasant, you've got the pleasant to support and help counter to a degree the unpleasant. So continuing just to check in with yourself, maybe drop in the question, how are things in the body now? Can I receive what's happening? Can I soften around it? And let's open awareness to include sound and in the room or outside of the room without labeling what exactly is making the sound, but just hearing. We're engaging the sense of hearing. Let's sweep through the body with our attention, with our awareness. Just noticing what's there, sensation or lack of sensation, as a way to begin, starting with the feet. And we'll do this as a sweep. So moving awareness up the lower leg to the knees, to the upper legs, thighs, over the hips and the torso, sweeping your awareness up over the shoulders and down both arms and hands. Almost like a warm blanket coming up over the neck, the back of the head, sides and top of the head, and then down over the face. So forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks and jaw and mouth. And releasing that, coming back and holding the whole body in your field of awareness, noticing points of contact, wherever that might be, perhaps soles of the feet or the back of the body. And receiving the sensations of that point of contact or those points of contact. Feeling grounded by the body, here in this moment, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. And let's establish an anchor for the wandering mind. So you have options, and keeping in mind that the mind is busy. It likes to think and plan and regret and wonder and anticipate. And in this practice here, we're just simply noticing when a thought has slipped in uninvited. Not a problem. We're just going to label it thinking. You can be more specific if you want. Let your body soften and return to an anchor, a stabilizer, kind of whatever we're coming back to over and over again, kind of like mental push ups for the mind. So a thought slips in, we see it, thinking, soften, return over and over again. And this establishes a kind of steadiness. So we're not arguing with our thoughts or feeling like they shouldn't be there or thinking we need to have a clear mind. Those are just common misconceptions. The mind is going to think. We're going to see once a thought has slipped in, and we're going to release it. We're going to soften and return. So the anchor could be the sensations of your breath anywhere in the body you feel it most easily, the inhalation and the exhalation. And you could also, if breath is challenging this morning, you could take the palms of your hands and you could either rest them together or rest them on the top of your thighs if you're seated. It's also fine to open awareness and receive sound. So see what might work for you for the remainder of our practice. And noticing where your mind is. Gently releasing the narrative, allow the body to soften and return. And noticing where the mind is. And as we bring this practice to a close, I'm going to read a short piece by Dana Faulds, and you can turn your attention from whatever you're using as an anchor to the words. And this is called Estuary. There is peace here where the river widens to meet the sea. The rapids are past, the boulders and the rocky places at last give way to a broad and sweeping current, flowing slowly into vastness. The river moves silently, tasting the salty tide that marks its demise, and slips without a backward glance into the ocean's infinite embrace. So, taking a moment, if your eyes were closed, to open the eyes and reorient to the room, maybe do a little stretch, look around. Um, and so, I'd like to open it up to any questions, comments, shared resources. And I would love to know if anybody was able to attend the session with Rhonda McGee yesterday, and any thoughts about that. I will tell you that one thing she left us with, at the end, I ask a question that I usually start with a question of what the person's origin story is. And then I usually close by saying, is there anything you would like to offer that I haven't asked? And Rhonda said, if anybody feels any level of inspiration from this conversation, lean into it. So, I think in these times that are so challenging, politically, environmentally, economically, that um, there's still there's still a reason for hope. And she really emphasized that there are things we can do within our own small orbit. Oh, Denise, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think just the idea, with things that are feel so big, that if we think about our own orbit, right? Just the world we travel in, that just bringing a level of kindness to interactions that we have with people we know and people we don't know, to thinking about what and how and where we purchase things, um, to recognizing that everybody you meet has some story of pain. There is definitely um, pain and loss in it's part of the human experience. So we can count on that. And that is part of our shared, despite so many differences, just our shared humanity. We have similarities. We all age, we all get sick, we all leave this planet. I mean, so it's helpful, I think, to recognize our shared humanity and to pay attention to what we have control of and what we can do within our own small sphere of existence. And who knows what kinds of ripple effects or lasting effects sometimes even the smallest act of kindness can have. So we have time. Anybody who would like to either ask a question or talk about their practice or share a resource. And by the way, if you could not attend the session with Rhonda, it will be on our Mind the Moment YouTube page. So let me just put that in the chat. I don't know that it's up yet. John posts them, and I think it could be 5 days or so, but it's possible it's up now. I just don't know if he was able to get to it. Oh, good, Shanti. Yeah. I sent the link around to all of our Shanti's one of our instructors, and I sent the link around to, um, and Colleen, a reason for hope in our own orbit, much more reachable and less overwhelming. I live in Minnesota. Yesterday was, Colleen. Yeah, boy, I'm so sorry. Um, yeah, so sorry. Yeah, Minnesota, has been through a lot. So, let's, um, Beatrice, difficulty staying focused, my mind wanders. So Beatrice, just so you know you're in good company, I could pretty much guarantee that if I asked everybody who's with us today, if their mind was busy and wandering, the answer would probably be yes. And so it's an unfortunate misconception that the minute we get into a meditative posture, or soon after, or during, that we should have a still or at least somewhat calmer mind. And it is a misunderstanding, a misconception. And it is part of what makes meditation so challenging is that there's nothing to distract us. And so it's like all of the thinking becomes very clear to us, because we're not doing anything else. And I don't mean distraction in a negative. We have busy lives, but when we're still this way without anything else, it's like the thoughts are just more, we see them more clearly, which is one of the goals of practice, because we want to see our mental habits with greater clarity. We don't see them as clearly throughout the day. I mean, so we get to see what's on our mind, what we lean into, what we push away, what our habit patterns are. And the practice, which I do like the idea of attention training or push-ups for the mind, is that you're strengthening the capacity to have greater focus and concentration, which enables mindfulness to do its job better. So sitting with the busy mind is a really good practice, really good practice. So in a way, you can just even label busy, 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 and then see if you can reconnect with the anchor. And then you might notice that a thought slipped in unnoticed. That's a really good moment. Thinking, here you are, soften and return. And over time, what you're doing is just strengthening your capacity you're more in you start to get more in the driver's seat of your attention. It could be even something as subtle as, thinking, "Not right now," and return. And, 10 seconds later, you might be doing it again, and that is the practice. You're doing it correctly. Um, and Lozel, yes, but every minute, second can go a long way. I was distracted this morning as well. Yeah. And Juan agreed, for me, the anchor helps to reel the mind back in. Yep. Yep. So thank you for just kind of normalizing the busyness of the mind. It is, I think, this is, there are very few things in life that are simple, but not easy to do. And this is one of them. I mean, take some time to be with yourself and just notice what's going on. And sometimes the mind can just be so incredibly busy that it keeps us, we don't want to practice because we don't want to be with it. But if you start to, like, the word allow is a word that I like a lot. So, if you sit and somewhere it occurs to you like, "Ooh, busy mind this morning, busy mind." And just receive that. See if you can even soften around it rather than resist it and think something else should be happening. I hope that makes some sense because I know as I say it, it can seem counterintuitive, but you are doing the practice correctly when you just simply relax into the busyness of the mind, as counterintuitive as that might sound. But what you're doing now is letting go of the resistance. I don't want it to be this way. I want it to be a different way. So we're learning and practicing being with what is rather than we think what should be happening. I hope that's helpful. Um, and I'm gentle in returning to my anchor. That's a really good point, Heather. Because there can be frustration, we can yank ourselves back, right? So really you're doing the practice absolutely right when you just see, busy mind. You can even just make a mental note with all the thinking, busy mind, soften, because the body subtly contracts often without our even knowing it. Busy mind, soften the body. Return to breath sensation or sound or other physical sensation, palms together or on your thighs. And just resume. And you do it this over and over and over again, over and over again. The willingness to be with the difficult, the uncomfortable, is really foundational in this practice. And if we can start with the small discomforts, we're training to be with the discomfort, the bigger discomforts in life that we will all inevitably face because it's just aging, sickness, and death are the truth of our human existence. And yeah. So I want to close just by offering peace to all of those in Minnesota and maybe all of us together. I'll just lead the loving kindness and may all of the energy of our practice today be devoted to the suffering in Minnesota and all of those affected. Um, so may we be peaceful and at ease. May our hearts be soft and open. May we be safe and protected and our bodies healthy and strong. And may our practice be of benefit to all beings, but especially to those in Minnesota who are suffering so deeply. So I wish everyone well and safety and yeah, thank you everybody. And I will see you on Wednesday. Okay.